What's going on, guys? Zach Notting with Constellation Complex LLC. I'm one of the co-owners here. The other co-owner, his name is Tristan Blackwell. So a little bit about us. We sell firearms here in the North Phoenix area. We also do accessories, attachments. We offer consulting services, whether that be for training or that be just to, go do a look over for your current armament, your armory that you have. As well as that goes, we also specifically deal with lots of manufacturing as that's been started in the past couple of weeks here. We're going to have our everyday carry belt, which we're calling the EDC. When that comes out, you'll see a lot of it. We're going to have our own war belts made here, and as well as we're going to have some other items that I'd love to talk about, but we kind of want to keep it on the down low till after SHOT Show, and we get a couple of things on hand and ready to go. So keep an eye out for that. Follow us on Instagram. We have our phone numbers there, so if you need to get a hold of us, honestly, we're about to be switching over websites, so if it's hard to get a hold of us on the website, feel free to hit us up through the link tree, hit us up through Instagram, Facebook, the numbers that are on our business cards and vice versa. And if you need anything else, feel free to come on by. Huge background in hunting. I've won SCTP Nationals, shotgun competitive sporting clay tournaments. I know it's a jumble of words. Tristan and I both shoot a ton of pistol competitions together, whether it be weekly or it be actual sanctioned large events. And on top of that, we also shoot and train for self-defense and anything in the quote-unquote tactical space. So whatever you need, feel free to hit us up. I'm Frosted Flakes 52 on Instagram. Tristan is CC Tristan Blackwell. So let us know what you need.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hard to Kill episode 121. We got Seth Dunn, terminal fucking corporal. I love to hear it. Out of 1-5 out of Pendleton, where all the honeys are at. That's what I'm talking about. Seth, thanks for making it to the show, buddy.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. So, I noticed you doing your thing on Instagram. I see we've transitioned into a little bit of an influencer, huh? Big guy over here.
Yeah, dude. Big deal over here. No, I started a couple months ago. I was just like, so I got out of prison last year, right? So this kind of ties into it. And while I was in there, I was like, I got to get rid of all the insecurities that I have, right? I got to get rid of all my insecurities. I got to stop living in fear, right? So that's what I did, man. I just started posting dumb shit. My first videos were extremely cringy, dude. Got like no likes. It was terrible. Going back at them, I'm like, what the hell was I posting?
Isn't it the worst going back to like your starter stuff?
Dude, and you're like, this is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
You look at it, you just get like a literally a physical reaction. Like,
yeah,
oh.
I know.
But so posted that stuff, and I posted one stupid video about being a big guy because I saw a video, somebody post something like how I get dressed as a famous rapper or something like that. I was like,
perfect.
I'm gonna do that, but big guy. And then it ended up just sticking. People thought it was funny. So
that's one thing about the Marines, dude, that it's the thing that you use to just transcend all of the nonsense is lifting. And it becomes kind of a culture in the Marines because you find your little pack. It's usually like 3 or 4 guys that has the same regimen as you. You walk into his room, he's fucking making a shake, doing the dirty, whatever it is, shucking down some protein, and you kind of have the same feelings about things. How did lifting start for you? Was it a Marines thing, or was it something like before?
So it was way before. So I was kind of go back to when I was a wee little lad, right? A little kid. My dad would talk about stories of him in the military, right? Jumping out of planes and stuff like that and hiking up mountains. And I was like, that's pretty cool. So I was able to scrounge up enough like change and stuff like that to go to the dollar store and get this cheesy little plastic backpack that I would stuff with rocks. I would just stuff it with rocks. And I'd walk up our back hill, which is probably why my knees are so messed up now. But I would just run up the hill, run down and stuff like that. So that's kind of where it started. And when I got punished with push-ups. One of the things, right? So a good little punishment. I appreciate my dad for that.
I think we're missing that nowadays, dude.
Yeah, I agree. Dude, even when I got out of the Marine Corps, you couldn't make dudes do push-ups, bro. Bro, when I was getting out, dudes were, because everybody, dude, it was nuts. So when I was getting out, like, guys would straight up use the chaplain card, like, oh, I'm going to go talk to chaplain.
That's something that I wanted to talk about with you, because right. This is right about the time that I was getting out of the Marine Corps. I was talking about, some of my friends that were still in, and they were talking about how it was changing significantly.
Rapidly.
Now, is this basically the hazing, not hazing thing? If you
No,
will,
it's not even, because that stuff wasn't even hazing, dude. Like the
right?
stuff that we were getting hit for wasn't even hazing. When I first got to my unit, what happened was hazing, where they were tying guys up in mattresses and tossing them off the third deck.
Yeah.
Right? Or like we would have guys like you'd basically be pretty much naked in body armor doing handstands. Guys would be throwing beer bottles at you and shit. That's hazing. But
That's
like
hazing.
making people do push-ups is just like
Good training.
Yeah, it's training. It's reinforcement.
How do you feel about hazing though? I mean, because you seem like you come from a similar household as me. The way I always viewed training, man, I mean, don't get me wrong, it sucked. It's embarrassing. But I would always look at, people from other military branches, and I'd just be like, yo, they're not built like us. They're not going through it. It was almost like a sense of pride. And I know that sounds kind of fucked up, but it makes you better. It makes you stronger. And now get granted, there are some assholes that take advantage of it and they do shit, like on a power trip, like a bad cop. But, other people, when there's goals and, you have it sectioned to get you somewhere and there is a attempt to better yourself, to me, I feel like, that's what sets us apart from some of the other softer branches, man.
Well, that, and I think one of the driving motivators for people joining the Marine Corps is like mental illness. So you have to like, dude, a lot of the dudes in there are just straight nuts, bro. So, and everybody takes pride in like having, because the Marine Corps is great in that it does have that mindset where people take pride in having less, but it gets to a point where like you're doing training and they're like, we don't need water because we're tough. Yeah. And it's like, no, we literally need water.
No, that's something is a necessity.
Yeah, we literally need that. So it does kind of cross that line sometimes, but yeah, I do like the Marine Corps for that because a lot of those guys are just dogs, man. Like you can,
I agree. Now,
the low standard of living, low, all that.
Everything.
They take pride in it.
Hand-me-downs, yeah, of course.
Yeah, they're like, send it, bro. I remember when I was in after 3 years, we finally got M4s, bro, and they were hand-me-downs from the armies, and we were like, bro, this is we felt like we were freaking an ODST, bro. Yeah. We were like, we got M4s, bro.
Spec ops over here.
Yeah.
Okay. So give me I don't know, like sum it up for me, dude. What'd you think about the Marine Corps in the grand scheme of things? Was it something that, you were happy you did? Because listen, we all have our ups and downs in the Marines. I mean, there's goods and bads. Sum it up for me. What'd you think at the end of the day? Were you happy you did it?
Oh, dude, I'm extremely glad that I did it. There's that whole cope where people are like, it built me into the person I am today. But it's like when people go back, they tend to. I really liked it, man, because even though it did like have some negative attributes, it taught me a lot, right? It got me in contact with a lot of good, solid dudes. And I was lucky enough to be surrounded by some good, solid dudes. And if it wasn't for the Marine Corps, man, I would be a fraction of the man I am today, I think. So, but it was mainly just because of the people I surrounded myself with, dude, because the Marine Corps, just like anything else, you can utilize it to become like, because a lot of guys get out of the military and they just become total pieces of shit.
Yep.
Or they don't utilize those skills at all. They go work or they basically just waste all that. Just like in the Marine Corps, bro, like we had so many opportunities to improve ourselves. A lot of guys didn't take it. So I was lucky enough to be surrounded by guys who were taking those opportunities, and, a rising tide lifts all ships. So
well said. Well, so, that's something I talk about often, bro, because you can see the two groups in the Marine Corps, dude. If you don't surround yourself by the right people, there's a fall off, bro. There's that typical, I don't want to be here. I can't wait to get home. But you were a shitbag when you were home. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like the Marine Corps really is just I don't know if it was the same way when you were in, but it was almost like cool to be a shitbag when I was
dude.
You know what I'm saying?
It was extremely cool. I fell into that too a little bit.
I did too. Don't get me wrong.
Growing out the hair, bro, doing like sniper PT,
gunny rolls, just fucking low boot blouses. Yeah, come on.
Bro, there's always that like edgy counterculture wherever you go.
I think there's a difference there. I don't think that shitbag. I think there's a huge group in the Marines that take advantage of the grooming standards and push it nonstop. You know what I'm saying? And there's certain guys that, listen, if we make our bones in the field, I don't want to come back to the fucking Marine Corps and hear about my fucking haircut or my blouses or my dirty camis. Some of us actually do shit out here.
Yeah.
And
that's, everybody thinks, because it is like the military is like 1% actual like combat jobs. And the rest of it's just support jobs. And then treating them both the same kind of it did kind of piss us off a little bit. We were
That's
like,
what it
dude,
is.
we're actually out here doing hard work.
Yeah.
And we're getting treated like everybody else. But
Facts.
yeah.
So yeah, so okay, so you got out. I mean, I think we all, when we get out, dude, it's kind of like a culture shock. We don't realize it. We don't appreciate it enough while we're in. Because we all like we're excited to get home, dude. We haven't been home in for a while. You're excited to see some people. And you don't pay attention enough to setting yourself up for success when you get out. And as you said, some of you fall right back into the monotonous minutia of doing the same old shit, the same go nowhere job. You don't use a lot of the little skills that you realize are skills the Marine Corps taught you to be successful when you get out. And I fell in that also, man. I deployed a couple of times too. I've been in some combat situations, and PTSD creeped up on me. And honestly, dude, I have the same mentality as you with the lifting, the big guy. You feel like you're indisposable. You feel like you can never break to a certain degree. And when that stuff creeps up on you, dude, it kind of takes you by surprise sometimes. Mental health is big nowadays. How do you feel about all that?
Oh, well, yeah, I do feel like people obviously don't set themselves up for success, because when guys leave and they go to the Marine Corps, like, they're gone for 4 years, they don't keep in contact with anybody, and they go back home in the same life that they were escaping, like the drugs or just like the shitbaggery. They go there, and they don't have any of those positive habits built, like fitness, like working out, like seeking knowledge. And they were just, in the Marine Corps, basically just following orders, dude. My purpose is what I'm told.
Yeah, exactly.
So they get out and they're like, what the fuck's my purpose, dude? And they just feel lost, and they don't have those buddies there that they were completely relying on, dude. And so you don't have anyone to talk to, and you feel like nobody understands you. So guys just fall into this pit, dude. And the worst thing that people do is they isolate, bro, because it comes from this like place of pride too, where it's like, I'm a fucking Marine, bro.
Yep.
I'm not going to socialize with these stupid civilians, bro. They don't get me. They're not hard like me.
Yep.
And so you purposely kind of push yourself away, and then dude, you just
all bad from there.
Drinking, bro.
Yep. That only makes it worse.
Yeah,
you
dude,
know what,
it makes
everything
everything
I was
worse,
surprised
bro.
about, dude, because I kind of stopped lifting when I got out a little bit, dude. And the transition of getting my shit back together and lifting almost cures all, dude. It really does. And I didn't really appreciate that enough. Would you think it's just is it your self-confidence, do you think? Is it being able to look in the mirror and just look at yourself and be like, okay, I would fuck me. I look good right now. You know what I'm saying? It builds you up a little bit.
Look good, feel good, dude. That's 100% an aspect, dude. And I do think, dude, because there's no way like fat people are like totally happy.
You can't lie to yourself.
No, there's no way. I think that's like a huge aspect. And then there's literally just like the physical benefits of being like that's just like a purpose, bro. Like my whole life, like when I was in prison or when I was in the Marine Corps, when relationships were going bad, bro, I always had the gym, right? I always had some measure of improvement in my life, and I always had something to take pride in. So it's like, if it wasn't for that, bro, I would have had nothing at some points in my life. So, and it can be unhealthy, right? Where you get so obsessed with it, but just like anything else,
If you don't mind, could you talk about prison a little bit? Because I dealt with it as well, dude. I got out. I got into some shit too. I got arrested. I went through the cycle. What happened with you?
So I just freaking ended up getting super hammered one night. This was, dude. It's always drinking, bro.
Yeah, I hear you,
bro. Every single time I drink, I'm like, time to do some crime.
Yes.
You know what I mean? let's do some. I think some felony sounds like a good idea tonight, bro. So I stay away from alcohol.
Smart.
So
time to do some crime.
Yeah, bro. Because it's like I got some crazy thoughts on a day-to-day basis, and then when you drink, like you're freaking.
It just lets the wall down. It's like I can't do this.
I can do whatever the hell I want.
So tell me what your area is like, bro. Where you at?
I'm in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So it's kind of like a small town, but there's people from like California and Oregon, all these big cities flooding to it. So it's kind of in weird growing pains right now, but it's a nice area, bro. It's way nicer. I've lived all over the country, and this is definitely one of the nicest areas for sure.
Has it changed with like the climate of today? Because I live in a small town area too, and it seems like it's like a 50-50 left and right. And I'm an independent myself. I think they both bullshit us, but it's been making people clash in my area that normally wouldn't, that don't agree on things. And I don't know. I guess that's the time of today, but I don't know. Is it similar by you?
I mean, it is, dude, for sure. But people just always do. People always just love fighting about shit, bro.
That's true.
People love.
That's true.
It's not as bad as other areas I've been to. Like I've been in Portland, I've lived in California, and there's a little bit more division there. But here, it's like mostly people are kind of conservative, you know, Republican, and there's a lot of annoying people. But you go down like 30 minutes down the road to Spokane, and their police just let people do whatever the hell they want. So it's a little more hectic.
Gotcha. So tell me, what's the goal with the big guy stuff, with the influencer stuff? Where are you going to take it?
So I do want to make money with it. Like that's the end goal.
Of course.
Right? I want to have total financial freedom. I don't want to have to work like a 9 to 5. Of
course.
I don't want to have to do fucking junk removal. You know what I mean? I do that shit right now.
I get it.
It's fun, but so I want to eventually do like personal training for that, and I want to eventually get sponsored. You know, in some way, shape, or form. And I kind of just riding the wave, bro. I'm just putting up whatever comes to mind, and whatever comes out of it.
Are you seeing it grow though, dude? Because I see you doing your thing.
I appreciate that, dude. Yeah, dude. I was pretty surprised that it grew as quickly as it did. Like when my page is actually up, it's growing pretty quick. So
that's a good feeling though, when you put yourself into something and you see other people, you know, go with it, dude. I understand how that is, you know.
Yeah, dude. It's huge, man. And people don't like to admit it, but the approval of other people always, to some degree, freaking makes you happy.
Facts.
So you see, like, you know, you see yourself growing, and you're like, it makes you a little more confident in yourself. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And it opens up windows of possibility. You know, opens up possibilities. So it feels good.
So dude? So honestly, dude, the pod was what I'm trying to do, dude. We spoke a little bit offline about this, but I think just because personally I went through it, I think vets losing their purpose when they get out of the military is huge. Friends of mine have dealt with it, guys that I know through the podcast that I talk with. And I don't know if it's that because what we talked about, you know, like guys just not setting themselves up properly, or maybe it's just hard to transition military field shit with civilian jobs. You know what I'm saying? I think it's one of the two. But I think I want to take this. I want to turn it into some form of a business to support vets. And I want to, and honestly, dude, private contracting and, you know, private security, that type of stuff I love. I've done it since I've gotten out. And I want to see if I can put like my own little flavor on it. I want to see if I can do something different. And trafficking's huge right now, dude. I would love to attack that somehow. And I know that sounds like a veteran wet dream, but you know, it's just something that I think I'm going to try out. I think we live in a world where social media is enabling us to do some of the things that we maybe thought. You know what I'm saying? Like we're lucky to live in a time with social media, dude.
Yeah, dude. For a while, people hated it, bro. And I mean, I was one of those people who were like, "This is stuff cancer."
Me too.
But now it's like, bro, this. If you're able to play it right, dude, this shit opens up so many possibilities for you. Like, you know, and how you were saying, it just kind of seems like a wet dream. Yeah. You know, it is to people who have, dude, you're crazy until you actually do it.
Absolutely.
You know, everything starts as a freaking wet dream, bro, until you actually crush it.
But see, dude, like I was never maybe it's a Marine thing, dude, because you get stuck in the do what I'm told type of mindset, and you don't really go after it. You feel like it's impossible to do any of the things that you actually want to do.
Yes, 100%.
And I got stuck in that for a while, dude, until you know what it was, dude? I was constantly I don't have a lot of people in my area from the military. So I'd be constantly just telling, you know, stories of shit that we would get into in the Marines to civilian people. And they'd always be like, yo, that's a fucking great story. That's a good story. And then that's when podcasting started coming out. And when podcasting started coming out, I connected the dots. I did a pretty decent interview on the Soft White Underbelly. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's on YouTube. But
I've heard of Soft White Underbelly.
Yeah, so I did an interview with them, and it popped up. Yep, I did and it popped off pretty good. And a bunch of people in the comments were like, "You should do something that involves talking with vets or helping vets." And I connected the dots, and I ended up with this, man. And honestly, I don't talk about it enough, dude, how much this does for me. Just being able to find like-minded people that think the same way I do, and just having a good conversation, dude. Like, this isn't hard for me. This really isn't. You know, like having a conversation with like-minded individuals is fucking easy. Yeah. And slowly, I'm sure it caught traction just like yours did, dude. Somebody shares it, someone talks about it, and it grows like wildfire. And it's done a lot for me. And I gotta say, I talk about social media a lot with veterans. And I think at first, especially when me and you were in, I mean, when I was deployed, dude, we couldn't even fucking take pictures, bro. Pictures were like a vendetta. Any videos, at the same time, guys were taking advantage of it, getting in trouble. pissing on dead bodies and, you know, stuff like that.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
You know, silly things, dude.
Yeah, exactly. But social media's transition, dude, and it's become a huge powerhouse that is today. And I think it's going to transition even further and get to the point where, you know, it's like streaming out of our heads or something, dude. I don't know.
Yeah. Dude, who freaking knows, bro? The future is so much stuff's coming out right now. We're going to have Neuralinks and our freaking heads getting Amber Alerts, bro, in the middle of the night.
Dude, I just saw something on Instagram that said that a Japanese scientist, of course, has came up with something to you can watch your dreams. Now, some of that might not be that good, dude.
Yeah, I was about to say. Dude, some girl's gonna hook that up to you in your sleep, dude. Like, who was that, dude?
You're screwed, dude. You think girls going through your phone is bad, dude? You wait till they go through.
She's about to go through your dreams, dude. You're fucked.
Oh shit, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I did want to talk to you. I mean, you do have a bit of a political aim, not a political aim, but you have a political swing in your stuff. Yeah. Talk to me about how you feel about the world today, man.
Oh, dude. My view of the world really changes depending on where I put all my thoughts, bro. Like for a while there when I blew my knees out, both of them, both my patellar tendons ruptured at the same time a couple of years ago. I was at the range just shooting, bro. I literally look at my buddy. I was like, bro, my knees feel the best they ever have. I literally said, I'm like, I feel so good, bro. Watch this. I have my kit on. I go to run. I run at the target. I stop, think. Both my knees snap at the same time. Left one, right one. I hit the ground, dude. And I'm like, I hit the ground. I'm like, I just snapped both my patellar tendons.
Something's bad. Oh, you called it?
I gave myself a medical diagnosis right there on the spot. Anyway, my buddy carries me like a baby, big dude. Carries me to my van. And while I was in that freaking horizontal state for months, you know, not doing too good, peeing in a bucket because I couldn't get up, dude. It was terrible. And after, like, during all that, I was taking Adderall too. Not a good mix. Yeah, I was prescribed it.
Of course. Can't move, but taking Adderall.
Oh, yeah, dude. So what was I doing? Rabbit holes, bro, on the internet. Spending a lot of time on the internet, hyper-fixating on, like, different conspiracy theories, which most of them are real. But, straight up. I mean, the deeper you go, the deeper you realize, like, dude, shit's actually not right. But,
dude, honestly, the deeper you go, the darker it gets.
Dude, no matter what. Dude, it's just like, well, I can't, and I got really fixated on that stuff, and my view of the world was extremely negative, bro.
Yep, same here.
And then after that, I was like, man, I'm depressed. I hate the world. I'm angry. Dude, so I'm like, I'm just going to stop looking at this shit. And my view of the world got better.
Really?
You know? Oh, yeah, dude, because now I surround myself with people who are positive and all that. But anyway, I think that the world, our biggest problem right now is people thinking that just people not standing up for shit, bro. Like, people are just such cowards.
That's so true. So true.
And they pack us in these cities and they always have us under social pressure. So nobody looks through life through like, is this true? Is this okay for me to believe? Is this okay for me to say?
They just judge off rip.
Yes. So nobody's genuine, bro. Nobody's authentic.
You know, it's really funny you say that, dude, because I was on a podcast recently with actually two Raiders. It's called Stranger by the Hour. And one of the hosts was talking about, you know, everyone all day is talking about how badass they are and how much they'll do this and that. But look what happened when Trump got shot at that first time. All these guys in the crowd with tap out shirts on, you know, Oakleys with the Mustang GTs, but no one's jumping on that roof to pound out old boy when everyone's calling out there's a shooter. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? You're right, dude. We have a lot of people that just bark that shit all day, but no one wants to do anything. And that's just hitting the nail on the head, to say the least. And honestly, you're right, dude, because I went through the same thing, dude. I went through a period where the news, every time I watched the news, everything said the same thing. And I started like trying to get my information on YouTube and I looked down all these rabbit holes. And you're right, dude. Something's not going the right way. And I don't know if it's because... Now hear me out on this, because whenever I talk politics with somebody, as I said, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, but I tend to lean to the right as of late. Obviously, because if you don't lean to the right as of late, and this is not me pointing fingers at anyone, how can you follow an agenda that's basically the whole transgender thing, dude, just really throws me off. Getting involved with kids, that to me is a huge red flag. And in my area, a big movement has been pushed to do like transgender story time. And it's like, what are you do? Where is that stemming from? Where is that coming? You know what I mean? I don't know if that's similar out by you, but
Bro, what I think it is a organized effort by a select group of people in the world, call me crazy, to sow discord in our country. And they do that by bringing in different ethnic groups as well. So they basically try to make it so everybody, because there's things in the world that we know inside our gut that kind of aren't right? And everybody kind of naturally has this. So as many times as they can kind of get us to turn away from that gut feeling, the less we trust ourselves and the less we trust our intuition.
Not only that, it causes chaos between us.
It causes chaos. And what happens when you're trying to take over a host country? I mean, you could read The Prince, bro. Have you read The Prince?
I have.
By Machiavelli?
I have.
So you read that, dude, and the first half, I mean, the book kind of talks about exactly kind of what they're doing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They talk about how to take over hostile countries.
It's a blueprint, bro, basically.
Yeah. So it's you sow as much discord as possible, you know what I mean? Because a unified country is harder to take down.
Absolutely.
Flood a bunch of different types of people in there and make everybody confused and angry.
The thing is, it's happening in front of us, man. It really is. I feel like, go ahead.
I was going to say Dostoevsky, it says in one of his books about when the Bolshevik Revolution was happening, he said, they know, we know, they know, we know, and they still do it, right? It's like we know what's going on. They know we know what's going on.
But it's still going to happen because
it's still going to happen.
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to take action.
Is it because now I broke this down too as well, dude. Like, why is no one doing anything? Because I feel like there are good people in the world to some degree. It's not all black. But is the justice system just so corrupt that anytime we get just a somewhat solid leader, he gets to a certain level and gets corrupted? Is that what we're dealing with here? Or is it just that we don't have enough good people?
I don't know, man, because I think what a good person is kind of weird too, but I don't know, man. It just that whole social pressure thing where nobody wants to like piss anybody off. People think to be a good person it means to not cause any issues,
not cause any waves, not
don't cause any waves. They have us freaking docile because of porn. You know, no guys are like, I don't have to. I can just go home and jerk off or.
And the water's turning the frogs gay, dude. You know what I mean?
What's crazy is it literally did. All those birth control pills inside the water made the frogs literally gay.
You know, everyone wants to knock on Alex Jones all day, dude, but everything he said has been fucking spot on, which is crazy.
Yeah, mostly, yeah. It's pretty nuts. Dude, I grew up listening to him, bro. When I was in a stroller, my dad was playing Alex Jones.
That's hilarious.
Since I was a little kid. So
he's been at it for a while, dude. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it's wild that we're seeing this stuff happen right in front of us. And honestly, if I'm being honest, dude, I am not a voter. Usually, I'm someone that thinks it's so corrupt it doesn't matter, and I'll chirp that stuff all day. But this time around, I think I'm definitely going to vote. I'm going to vote right, and I hope that the demographic that I'm speaking about right now, the people that don't normally vote because of exactly what I just detailed, I hope they do, and I hope that is the game changer in this right now because. Bro, if we don't get this shit back on track, I mean, not only that, dude, what the fuck is going on with the border? Like, and I'm not even talking about Spanish American people that are coming over the border. I'm talking about Chinese regulars that are coming. Like, that blows my mind that military aged Chinese males are just streaming across the border. And not only that, they're buying land outside of military bases, and the fact that that's not talked about more is terrifying to me.
Yeah, why do you think that's happening?
Because is China the big bad boogeyman in every scenario, or what, dude? Because
that's the hard thing is you just don't know what's real, bro.
That's what I mean. Exactly.
So everything's sheep dipped. There's always a grain of truth to so many things. It's just so confusing, dude. And the only way you can actually even know what's going on is by doing all the research yourself. And it takes a lot of time.
And even that gets diluted a little bit because you get to a point where you have to make a decision on what you're going to believe. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to your unknown biases. But the things that you kind of like got brought up on to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Common sense applies, and you need to put that forward a little bit. And at the end of the day, I mean, it really just depends on which way you sway, I think. But I mean, regardless, November is going to be big for us. And
so what happens if Kamala wins? What do you think is going to happen? Because I was talking to my buddy, and he's like, "Bro, what's going to be the end of the world?" And I'm like, "We've seen the end of the world."
Realistically, she's in the office right now, bro. And if you look at what they're doing right now, what are they doing? Really, what are they doing? And to me, it looks like, dude, we're on three fronts right now. They say that we're not involved with the Ukraine, but I guarantee there's boots on the ground somewhere out there.
No, dude, bro, we're 100. Dude, we've been involved in Ukraine since 2014.
That's what I'm talking about.
We had CIA guys over there. And dude, we have CIA guys over there getting smoked on a pretty fairly regular basis. I mean, that's out there.
Yep.
Yeah, and not to mention we've given them so much equipment. Anyway.
Oh, beyond. Dude, so much. It's absurd at this point.
If it wasn't for us, this war wouldn't be happening. I mean, that's an objective fact.
Dude, it's getting to the point where I'm agreeing with Putin, bro. Like, I understand why he's like getting angry, dude. Like, what are we doing? Why are we so involved with Ukraine, dude? Like, if you look into the history, Ukraine was a part of Russia. That's their business. We should not be stepping all over this, dude. And why? Why are we stepping all over this? It's all at the end of the day, it's money, dude.
It's money, bro. But dude, so I thought about this too, do you believe in that there might be like a secret society out there controlling things?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this secret society supposedly has been around since probably the beginning of recorded history, right?
I agree.
So they have
now let me stop you right there. When it comes to a secret society, I don't want to say it's as simple as the Illuminati.
No.
I think there's a group of wealthy individuals that influence trends in America or the world to just stack their pockets, bro. I think that's what's going on. And go ahead.
No, you go. Sorry.
So I think that and I think you're right, dude. I think it started at the beginning. I think it's way before like we're even thinking here. And I think we're living in a time where information is accessed more readily, and there's a cell phone and a camera everywhere, so it's much harder to hide this stuff. And I don't know how far you've dug into the military-industrial complex, bro, but that right there, to me, when capitalism is dictating the terms of war, it's starting to get scary with that, dude.
And I mean, even if because I agree with all that. I was going to say, if these very rich people have been around since the beginning of time, money is not an object for them because they control. At this point, it's like money to us is a commodity, but these people created money.
Information is what is the commodity. I feel like, or that's power to a certain degree, knowledge.
Yeah, and you have these. Because for us, things are so simple, and because we see things small pictures, like we got to deal with money because we have to go to work and we have to go get groceries. These people don't have to worry about those things.
Yep.
So people could be motivated by things that we think are reasonable. These people are just on another level. They're thinking bigger picture things. I think it's money, but at the same time, I think that what it is, and so many people think I'm crazy for this, but I think they're trying to reduce the population of European military-age males. I think that's part of it. I would say creating war, creating strife. I think that's part of it. And I think the other part is the fact, obviously, is money and all this equipment that we're sending over there. That's pretty much widely known. That place is a Bermuda's Triangle for all of our equipment. It's going there, and most of the time it's disappearing and it's not getting to the military.
Facts.
Because you see on all these different anyway. So that right there is being used for a front for us to funnel all of our equipment, and for that equipment to be dished out to different parts of the world to create enemies that we will need the military industrial complex for in future scenarios.
That's hilarious. It's funny you say that because I talked to somebody that was in the Ukrainian infantry, right? And I was like, hey, we're dumping billions of dollars over there to you guys. How much are you guys seeing? And not even money. I understand that it equates to equipment and weapons and stuff like that. He's like, bro, our forward recon units don't even have nods or radios. And we're dumping billions of dollars over there and they don't even have rate comms, bro. You're exactly correct.
Dude, and they don't even want to use our javelins because they don't understand how to use them. They're like, what the fuck is this? You know, they're like, what is this shit? And then they just leave them, bro.
You know what I think it comes down to, dude? There's no one like, there's no one on the checks and balances part where they're like annotating everything
Yeah.
and like dictating terms of who should get what, where should everything go. I think it's just loosely being done so they can take advantage of that system, dude. And I think
Yep.
that's what we're seeing.
I agree.
And I think the most scary part is how information is being dissected about this, how everyone's getting information about what's going on. Because realistically, I think the secret society we speak of, I think their biggest tool is the media, man. I think how they get information out to to us to influence votes and trends is their biggest tool. I think warfare has evolved so much that the weapons on in the battle space is just disinformation, bro, to get
Yeah.
people to do certain things, and that's terrifying.
Yes. Yeah, you create confusion, which obviously leads to your advantage.
Yes.
And everything people say, why is the world like this? Why are our leaders treating us like this? Everything makes sense when you realize that they're not our friends.
Yes.
That we're
yes.
that it's a parasitic relationship. Then all the pieces just start to fall in place.
Yep. Then, you know, tell me this then, dude. What do you think about like the and I've done a lot of digging on this because I'm not sure if I'm religious or not because you know I've gone down a lot of rabbit holes on religion and look where religion started, dude. They were crusades. They were religion to me was just the first form of government or control to control the masses. Because think about it, dude. Back then, people are just dying and they're not understanding why. So someone in the government or that's in control is like, hey, this is what's going on. Don't freak out. If you're a good boy, you'll go to the heaven where everyone gets taken care of. But if you're bad and you don't listen to us, you're going to burn for eternity. That's such a human construct, like a human punishment. Like it just sounds like a dumb person in the government made up that story and a bunch of ignorant people believed it. I'm not saying everyone that believes in religion is ignorant. I'm just saying that's where it started from.
Hey, even if you did think that, dude, that's your right. You can think whatever. Because I'm Christian, I've struggled with my faith for a long time there because I grew up in church and I didn't see.
Same here.
All I saw was people being not genuine.
Yes,
I saw so much fake. Like that lady who claims to love God is the first lady who's going to freak out because you took her seat at church.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And it's like, this is the sweetest old lady who just volunteers and everything. And she just gave me, she just looked at me like she hated
completely
it.
Contradicts herself when it comes to actually actions in real life.
Yes. So I saw a whole lot of talking, but not a whole lot of walking. Right.
Yes, I agree.
And
go ahead.
I was going to say, and I grew to realize that the Bible isn't really like just like anything else where you got to study it. You got to study it and you got to develop your own relationship with God. And you got to fuse that, like Bruce Lee says, right? You leave what is good and then you inject what is your own or something.
Do you think God, in a way, is that little voice in our head that we know is always right, that always says, hey, you should do this. This is what that kind of guides you. You know what I mean? Or is that just you? I don't know. I thought about that for a little bit.
I think that's interesting that you say that because when I was in prison, I was starting to get into this whole Eastern philosophy thing, reading a lot of books. And I think that consciousness, that voice that you hear inside of you isn't you necessarily.
I agree.
Right? Because you're observing it.
Yes.
But I do think that we have God in us. And I think God does try to speak to us through that.
Agree.
But I think sometimes it can kind of be manipulated, right?
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah,
because that voice isn't always good, dude.
Yes. I agree. But yeah, I agree with you.
So what I was getting at was UFOs. UFOs are a big, and I don't even know what to say a UFO is because I go back and forth to, there's a lot of UFO videos with lights and stuff like that. To me, that's just some kind of drone, some kind of military reverse engineered craft. Because if you're traveling interstellar space, you're not worrying about a light. You know what I'm saying?
Why do you got little tiny freaking LED
you've mastered that. You know?
Yeah. You don't need lights. You have night vision. It is, dude. I've never actually thought about that. That's goofy as hell.
Yes. But
right there, dude.
You see a breakdown. There's like some crafts without that, some crafts with that. I think to me, but then recently I went down a rabbit hole of this reporter talked about how UFOs that we see in the sky are an old human race that has mastered the speed of light in a spinning motion. Most of these crafts are circular. And what happens when you master the speed of light and you're going faster than sound or light, it's a form of time travel.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, he made it seem like it was this first civilization that mastered technology and figured out how to travel time. That spun my head all the way around, because technically crafts do spin, and I'm sure I mean, if from what we're seeing, they've mastered mobility, and our crafts can't keep up with them. But regardless how you put it, they're a intelligence that we do not understand at this point, and it's kind of Truman Show-esque, if you will.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, man? You've had to think about it. You're definitely you got a brain on you.
Oh, dude, 100%. I thought about it.
Yeah.
So, what you said was interesting. I've never heard that.
Me either.
But so I think it's one of two things. I think that it is a effort to make us. I think that the whole alien thing is an effort to make people not believe in God. I think it could be, right? Because I think that if the government's telling us something, or if there's because government lies.
Well, let's game plan that real quick, dude. What happens if that were to come out? What if they
we have a united a way to unite the entire country, the whole entire world under a one world government.
This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So like, there's a reason for everything, bro. There's a reason for everything. So it's like, are they telling us the truth, or are they telling us part of the truth? Mm-hmm. I think either that, or it is interdimensional beings, bro. Mm-hmm. I think it's something along the lines of like interdimensional beings, like angels, demons.
Yes, that's what I was getting
able to transfer. Yeah, so I think that there's definitely another race out there of human beings, or not human beings, but beings. But I don't think it's like aliens. I think it's interdimensional things.
I would think that too. But then I always get thinking of like, if there is another race or something like that, or maybe it's just been brushed under a rug and it's been controlled. But to me, how have we not just like somehow communicated with this race where it's known? You know what I'm saying? Why have they not communicated with us? Or is that because they're controlling us? Is that, there's 1,000 things that you can speculate, but it's just something to think about.
It is, dude. And it's like, you can, just how you said beforehand, you kind of have to choose what you believe.
Facts. I really just hope before I croak, I get some kind of answer, dude, because I think about this stuff a lot, dude, because, life kind of sucks at the end of the day, dude. To me, I'm going through that part of life where like I'm doing the same job. I'm starting to realize, I'm turning 35. I'm starting to realize this is life right here. This is what's going to be.
Yeah.
And when you think about like, you can contemplate like, maybe there's another life force out there. Maybe there's more to what we know about Earth. It's kind of interesting. It takes you away from the grind of Republican, Democrat, this whole life that we're going through right now. But it's something to think about for sure.
Yeah. But I think it's something that everybody's curious about, dude, since the beginning of time, bro. Like the oldest it's something that plagues every person. Are we all that's it, dude? Is there something else?
Of course. How can you not think that, dude? You really think that this blue marble is the only thing in this vast expanse that we talk about all the time, dude? No way.
Wouldn't it be cool if it was, though?
That would be terrifying. That's scary as shit, dude. Like, I think about that a lot. It could be, bro.
If we live in a world of infinite possibilities, we live in a world where that's possible.
That is true. That is true. That would be wild if for some reason we were just the perfect distance away from the sun that mathematically we equated to be the only thing that evolved into some form of life. Because if you dive into like the science about like life, technically, we're something that shouldn't have happened. We're like a virus that mutated that shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? It's scary when you start thinking that way.
Well, dude, because it's like, and that makes me so confident that there's a God, because I believe in science. I mean, people think science and God can't go together, but if you actually believe in a God, you believe that science is the fabric that holds this dimension together, or if you're a computer programmer and if I lived in a computer and I was able to discover how things functioned while I was in that virtual world, it would look a lot like us trying to discover, this.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
God, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
But it's like, people say, "Oh, we live in a simulation." It's like that would imply that somebody made the simulation. But
God, I hate thinking that stuff, dude. It bugs me out, dude. Have you seen the Truman Show?
I have seen it years and years ago.
That to me would explain why we haven't spoken with any kind of interdimensional being, because we're somewhat being monitored.
Yeah.
Why every time there's a nuclear experiment, explosion, bomb, there's some kind of interference with, some kind of crap. I don't know. I saw a video the other day of them testing a ballistic missile, and it showed a little craft buzzing around it and zipping little things off this and exploding, dude. So I don't know, man.
We could also just have crazy technology that they don't want us to know about.
That's true. That's true. That could be a thing. I mean,
I wonder what the heck happens in that CERN particle hydron.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about, dude. If you start dipping and dabbing into CERN, dude, you can't casually say scientists found out about another dimension.
Yeah, right. How did you do that? And what stuff are you not allowed to talk about?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? What else is out there that they just don't tell us, bro?
I think it's very, very likely. First of all, we can't even understand why certain parts of the earth are doing certain things. Never mind, you're going to tell me we've mastered a particle simulator, Yeah. So they could have stumbled upon some technology that it got out of their control, and they could have manipulated something they shouldn't have, and who knows what could happen, dude. Time is a human construct, if you will. So
if you will.
So when you start dipping and dabbing, and time is something that's structured by a human mind, what really is time? What really is all the, we could go on for days about this stuff.
Yeah, we can go on literally forever. But speaking of time, bro, I got to dip here in like 2 minutes.
Do your thing, man.
It
was a pleasure talking with you. We'll chop it up again.
Dude, 100%. This was a good time, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll get this chopped up. I'll put out a couple of shorts. I'll tag you, and we'll go from there.
Dude, appreciate you, brother. This was seriously a good time, man.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.
Adios.
Take off the foo-foo, take off the cloud chase, take off the Wi-Fi, take off the uniform, take off the car zone, take off the flex and the white loss, take off the weird ass jewelry, I'ma take 10 steps, then I'm taking off top off. Take off the fabricated dreams and the microwave memes, it's a real world outside. Take off your idols, take off the runway, take off the Cairo, take off the Sandro, pay 5 days pay, table for the meal, qualify me. Take off the fuck flag, take off perception, take off the cop with the hot pad, take off the unload, take off the unsure, take off the station, take off the fake thing, take off